Right, so I know for a fact you've covered this already and you've definitely talked about it, but I've not watched. You posted one video, I think, about it, and I've not watched it because I just want to know what you think about the Will Smith thing.
Hilarious.
You think it's hilarious?
I did. I took it for two ways. I took it from a stand-up comedian point, and then I took it from a man who's obviously clearly in an abusive relationship.
Yeah,
like clearly,
definitely.
He's mentally fucked, isn't he?
Yeah. Have you seen the clip of him? It's so weird. It came up on my TikTok. I wish I saved it. We should have got it up on the screen because Paul loves doing that. But it was of him and his missus talking about how she went with another guy and how that happened and why it happened. Have you seen that?
I actually read a bit more research after I'd done that pod talking about it. So the guy was he had like a drug problem, and it was his son's pal, and they took him in. They obviously helped him get a bit of rehab, blah blah blah.
Who took him in?
The Smith family.
Right.
Like,
and then he
Will Smith took him in, and then he just rode her. To be fair, in her defence, the guy had a huge dick. I mean, there's a dick that size in your face, you're not saying that.
So they took him in because he had a drug problem. Then
he fucked her.
Shagged her whilst they were together, like in the house, in their bed.
Probably in their bed. Maybe it was in Jaden's bed, I don't know. Maybe they just shagged everywhere.
Right, okay, that's fucking weird. I never knew that part. That's interesting. But the clip is like, she's basically saying to him that I just needed to feel like good again.
Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means?
Will Smith is looking at it. He knows what it means, and she's basically means I just wanted to get shagged really hard.
But right, Will Smith clearly will be packing heat, right? He just will be. He's like a 6'3" black man, right? If he had a pecker,
chances are
if he had a pecker, it'd be like God just giving you the middle finger. Do you know what I mean? But he probably can't compete with this young fucking 19-year-old
stamina.
Aye.
His stamina.
Who's got probably an extra 10 inches.
And he's a bit fucking nuts by the sounds of it.
Aye. He's probably like...
She just wants a wild night. Or
doing lines off her arse and riding her into it. That's what he's probably doing.
And that's what she meant by I wanted to feel good.
Basically. But it was pure shit, man. For him, that is. But, I don't know.
Jinky sees that.
I think to an extent, they do have you try to tell me Will Smith, they do have this open relationship. He isn't riding everything as well.
Yeah, true. But he looks as if he looks like a puppet.
Aye.
He looks like he's being controlled. Because if you watch the clip, because people are like, is that fake? It's obviously not fake. As soon as you see her face change.
But Will Smith is actually just
he's buckled.
He goes, and he does what he does. He goes, fuck. And then that's the obviously.
Jinkle doing for comedy. That's the only reason it pissed me off, because I was like, are people going to think it's acceptable to get offended at fuck all?
That was the clip that we were talking about. I genuinely think people are going to think it's acceptable to attack a comedian when they don't like a joke.
I think that's what's going to happen, because it went ridiculously viral. But that was my first thought was like, for fuck's sake, because I can't be arsed with because even when we went to comedy the other night, we were looking at the crowd.
I didn't get drunk at all.
Didn't get absolutely paralytic. But I was just saying, I've never seen someone that fucking drinks the way you'd. Well, apart from people that are 15, you literally just like do a drink in 2 gulps.
Do that motion again, mate.
And then you literally go up, vodka, whatever you get, drink it, and then you may as well just stand at the bar, but you come back, drink it, and then fuck off again.
Sociable drinker, obviously, you know what I mean?
Steps must be through the roof.
No, I tell you that, but I told you, like, I can't have one.
I know, but everybody says,
no, but I can't.
But I seen you, I was like,
all right. What's that fucking, the guy for Oasis who talks about it?
Liam Gallagher. Was one.
He's a weapon, right, guaranteed. But he talks about when somebody asks you coming out for one, he's like, no. He's like, it's not one. We're going to end up with like 100 pints down us and absolutely fucked. And that's me.
He goes like, why the fuck would I come out for one? I think is what he said. But that was funny. But seeing people in the crowd, you were the one talking about it because you're the one that was looking at it. There was like people with blue hair getting offended about like animal jokes and shit. A
guy literally said they'd just shoved the cat to like in the bin and bought a new one because of that old cat was broken. And then you just seen the blue haired woman. Oh my god! And I'm like, it's fictional. He obviously didn't do that.
That woman should never come to my house. My dad's been making Kurt Zuma jokes for the last like 3 months.
Mate, they jokes are amazing, cat. Man.
You're getting fucking Zuma'd if you don't eat that food.
See when that happened, right, I was like, obviously, Kurt Zuma, that's shit, but I went, the battle's going to be amazing.
Yeah, definitely. Imagine being David Moyes after that, the manager. Just go like, come on,
Try to tell me he didn't know.
What, he was kicking his cat?
He definitely knew.
He was practicing for the game, wasn't he?
He just thought he was getting his reps in.
Fucking just out training, wasn't he?
Aye. But with the Will Smith thing, you can't actually condone any form of violence when it's like to try and solve a fucking joke. Like that's mental. See if it's just even... See the thing I don't get, but the Oscars obviously knew he was got to say that because you need to run the jokes by them.
Oh, really?
For them.
Yeah, because Ricky Gervais has been there. And
he had to run them by and they went, okay, cool, you're edgy, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And that joke was literally mid. You know what I mean? It was tame as fuck. It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't even brutal at all.
No.
Like, it wasn't. It was a tiny wee joke.
She's a baldy bitch anyway. I don't care. Mate,
I actually do think she's a boot for just, but you can tell just by Will Smith's reaction to that, she's a boot because that was controlled fully by her.
Aye.
That was fully like manipulated from her. You can see it. Anyone that can't see it has never experienced something.
Do you think this is what maybe happened? He's pushing himself, right? And then she's went, oh, if you got to hit him, I'll let Chris Rock shag me in front of you. And he's that much a cuck. He went, say no more.
Is that a thing as well that they're like, he likes seeing her get shagged or something? No,
I don't think he does. Nah, I'm just joking about that.
No, but I've seen I don't all sorts.
I
don't understand their situation at all.
No, and even if he is, who cares? Like, you do you. You're Will Smith, mate.
Wouldn't be for me. I just wanted to get your opinion on
it. Nah, just it's a bit fucking shit in that. But if anybody comes near me on a stage, mate, I'll just kick fuck at them, and I'm not even kidding. See, the second I even see somebody walk up the stairs after I've said a joke or anything, or come in, mate, I'll just hit them.
It was actually quite a good slap as well, wasn't it?
It was a belter.
Chris Rock took it so well, though.
Aye.
He did. He actually took it like a champ. Aye. And he couldn't believe it as well. He just looked
especially with like oven mitt on it. He just absolutely walloped my belter.
It was like, that's the only thing that made it look scripted, though, because it looked like something out of a fucking TV program, wasn't it? The way he just...
How Will Smith should have approached it, right? See if he was to physically go up there, he should have took it in a kind of joke away. Like people were talking about, maybe put him in the head, like, go, you bastard, or whatever, right? And then go sit back down, say to his stupid missus, by the way, it's a joke, get over it, you baldy bastard, and leave it at that.
Yeah.
Right?
Should have called her a baldy bastard.
Definitely. I'd have cut, mate. Have you seen the patter for this?
Not loads, no.
Andrew Schultz has like arguably one of the best 2.5 minutes of stand up I've seen in so long.
Right.
Just talking about that whole situation.
Really? Well, did he come up with it straight away?
I literally.
That's how the fuck do people do that? That's so talented, isn't it?
I was sitting thinking about so many jokes, but then I was like, none of them are as good, and they're all like already getting put out there. I hate that with Twitter. See when like something happens and you go, fuck, I've got this joke, I'm going to tell this on stage next week or like the next few days, and then you'll actually go on Twitter, somebody's tweeted it, and you go,
I don't think you can do that with comedy anymore. You need to be like right on it.
Aye,
like you can't be like, oh, I need to do like a joke about something that happened last month on stage a month later. Like you can't do it anymore. Like, well, you can, but you know, like it's so quick now with social media. People have made jokes about everything like as soon as it happens now.
But I've put that OnlyFans bit that we were talking about. I've put that into my material.
Right.
Basically talking about, I just got, did you all see that OnlyFans were going to get rid of the porn?
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, I remember.
Lead on to the Minecraft bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to, then that's still.
But that's not, that doesn't get outdated, if you know what I mean. I mean something that's like maybe happened, like making fun of like not Ed Miliband. That's quite a while ago. What's the guy that Matt Hancock?
Aye.
Who the fuck fucking Ed Miliband? Obviously that's out with the times. So it's fucking 10 years ago.
Jesus Christ. I get you maybe not do a joke within a month, but maybe 20 years.
Yeah. But if you start making jokes about that now, it's a bit old.
Aye.
Well, it'll still be funny, but people make jokes about it straight away and then you've lost it.
Try to tell me a Madeline McCann or Jimmy Saville joke.
Timeless.
Aye. They just are, mate, timeless. They just are.
Especially Jimmy Saville. Tell me about that documentary. Because I'm going to watch it. Well, I don't want to watch it because they things keep
not my proudest wank. Right. No, see what they've done this terribly.
Every time I see you, we talk about pedos.
No, because I'm one, obviously. Right. Stick to what you know what I mean, Paul? Seeing this Jimmy Saville documentary, see for the first half an hour, and this isn't because I'm a paedophile, right? I was literally like, oh, he's such a nice guy. He's actually, like, you forget that he was an actual paedophile this first half an hour, just because of the way they've done it. Basically showing him as, did you watch The Last Dance? And you see how like adored Michael Jordan as he can't go anywhere or anything. That's literally what Jimmy Savile was like during like 1964 or some shit.
Yeah.
And it was crazy,
1964, is it that old?
Is it? Aye.
Is he?
Mate. Well,
Was he famous in the 60s? I thought it was 70s and 80s.
Oh, was it 70s then?
Oh,
Maybe it was
who gives a
19.
fuck?
Aye, he's a nonce, right? But no, see when you're watching it, like the first half an hour, you go, oh, what a great career this guy had. Like he was born to perform, like entertainer all round in that. And then obviously it starts getting dark and dark. Like in between it, it shows you like wee kind of weird bits that he does. And I don't know how he didn't get caught sooner. Like genuinely, he basically admits all the time, I'm shagging Waynes. Or I'm abusing people.
You
like,
see that in the
entire
Louis Theroux one. He asks some questions and he gives them like backward answers that are basically saying,
Oh,
yes,
mate.
I'm touching. That one's fucked. Because there was a scene in the car, I think, and Louis Theroux literally goes, what do you make of like the allegations and stuff? And he just doesn't really answer them. But then he says it, and I can't remember what he does, but he says it in a way that basically says, I do it, but he doesn't come out fully and say it. And Louis Theroux just doesn't see it. Nobody sees it, because obviously that documentary went out. Nobody's seen it, but it's just, he's like playing with people.
Oh, he's a genius.
Yeah, they're all like the serial like pedophiles are all geniuses. But they are, they're just manipulators. That's their class on it.
It's weird, man. See when he like, there's this bit in, it's so 1970s. Like you would expect a presenter to do something like this, but he's like just got a cup of tea and he goes, I don't focus the camera on me for the ending. She's just got that lassie's legs, basically, and it's just the camera just goes, oh, sound does, mate. I was already there anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just goes there and it just kind of cuts.
See this one I was watching, it was about 5, I think it was Rolf Harris, one
Great
of the
guy.
other ones.
Great guy.
Legend. There was like 4 of them, and then they were going to like the victims and stuff.
Aye.
And I went to one where Jimmy Saville literally, because he basically had was it Top of the Pops?
Aye.
That'd be for like 15, 16 year olds like dancing to music, and he would be in the middle of the crowd. Obviously his fucking dream.
Fond on them.
No, he genuinely
Literally,
was. Because so she was like, the camera was on them and you could see that, so he was presenting whilst the camera was on them. Then it's like, imagine like a crowd of people, he's kind of the tallest one, and you can see her in the background, he's sitting fiddling her whilst playing her let the flip.
Aye. He's playing on Top of the Pops, you know what I mean?
And then she can't do anything because he's literally like on camera. Obviously it's really embarrassing.
Aye.
And she's trying to move and you can kind of see it. But if you're watching it and like when you don't know that's happening, you wouldn't have a clue.
Aye.
But she's sitting like, she's not screaming or anything, but she's trying to get away from him, and he's just sitting down in the middle of Top of the Pops.
Mm-hmm. See, it's a crazy standard of like, see back then, obviously just the standards in general, but what I mean is like, you could be fuck ugly and become a presenter at a great show.
Mm-hmm.
Nowadays, no chance.
They were really talented though, like in terms of like being
But
funny and
talent
stuff.
doesn't matter now.
This looks, you're saying?
It's looks. No, definitely. But you think about, mate, Holly Willoughby.
Oh, Willoughby?
Willoughby. Mm-hmm. Melons for days. Ride her silly.
Oh, but you're talking
she's
about
not
girls? Guys?
Guys as well, mate.
Piers
Philip
Morgan?
Schofield, would you not shag him?
Piers Morgan?
He's gay as well, so result.
Try to say all that. Nah, I don't know if I agree with you there.
That's Susan Bird or not? She's...
Susan who?
Aye, mate, she's... Oh, and Paul, my man.
Susan Boyle?
Jesus Christ, no. Maybe with the amount of alcohol I had at the stand, aye.
Right, one thing I want to get...
Wait a minute. No, I need to
Right,
ask you.
what are you
I
gonna
need to
do
ask
now?
you. Right, your Mount Rushmore of paedophiles, go.
I don't understand Mount Rushmore a bit.
So you need to pick 4 top paedophiles. Who's your favourite paedophiles?
I can only name the main culprits.
Go for
Prince
it.
Andrew is probably my favourite.
Obviously, big Prince Andy, legend.
Oh, got to be.
Epstein, how can you not like him?
The documentary was
Supplies
amazing.
all of them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Jimmy
Bring them all
Savile.
out. Big Rolf.
There we go.
That'll be it.
Huh?
Nah.
The name just, you know what I mean? You know he's a nonce.
Yeah.
You know he's a nonce with that name.
Mm.
But he's got that hang into where it's like, did he or did he not?
Well, he did.
No, but he did. Definitely, 100%. Or did he?
Anyone that doubts that's a fucking idiot.
Well, I must be an idiot then, you know what I mean?
You doubt that Michael Jackson was touching kids? You don't actually?
No chance, mate. Of course he was fucking
Right,
kids.
okay. Jesus Christ.
The guy had fucking Disneyland in his back garden.
As soon as people have to pay someone off,
Aye.
they're a nonce.
And also see the whole thing where he's like, oh, it's just because mentally I'm a child. That's why I hang about with children. Aye, that's why I hang about with children.
That's called being a pedo.
Yeah.
That's a big dirty pedo. Did I tell you I got groomed?
By Michael Jackson?
Not by Michael Jackson. I wish. I'd be fucking rich. I'd have took the payday.
Like, of all the people who you'd want to get fucked when you were a child, it would have to be Michael Jackson.
No, I get fully groomed. Like when I was... So the freestyle stuff I used to do, there used to be this guy. I'm just going to say his name. His name's Robbie Ellis. You can Google him. Anyone can go. Just type
Robbie
in...
Eilish?
Ellis.
Oh, right.
Type in Robbie Ellis, paedophile. Sounds like a football chant. Robbie Ellis, paedophile.
A very accurate one.
Exactly. And he used to message everyone that done freestyle. So when I started freestyle, I was like 14, 15. And if anyone wants
to get nonce.
Exactly. If anyone like knows about like the community in freestyle is like breakdancing, like it's just like a big community. And it would have been through Facebook that everyone would have met each other and stuff when social media came about. And he used to message everyone saying that he could get us sponsored, which was a red flag. But when you and so he'd message us all, he would send you like free stuff and that, but it's even you're 14 though. You don't have a fucking clue.
You love free stuff.
Exactly. And cock. No.
And older men.
And right, listen to this. So he would do it to quite a lot of people, and I never really spoke to him because I kind of knew, to be honest. Even when I was 14, I was like, there's something dodgy about him. But I quite liked the idea of free stuff. So he was in England. He was from Essex. So I eventually he would message me every now and then. I wouldn't really reply to him. But then I heard about some of my mates getting like proper good gear, and I was like, I want a bit of this. So I would message him back, and he would send me like 2 X's. And occasionally I would send him back an X.
You tease.
And one time he was like, "What's your address?" And I was like, "You're not coming up, are you?" He was like, "No, I'm just going to send you some stuff."
Coming up.
And he sent me a bag, right, of just loads of stuff. I swear to God, right? My mum witnessed this. So he just said that he was going to send me like shoes and a ball for freestyle. He sent me shoes, the worst shoes ever, like fucking Sondico ones or something. Then there was a key ring with a condom inside it. I swear to God, with a condom inside it. Then there was like other stuff, like there was balloons.
Was that one that he just like barebacked one of your pals?
Just a souvenir.
There you go, bro.
Blackpool.
Oh my God, mate, no. You're not out started in that place.
And the other thing that was in it, the worst one, like, was a jock strap. A jock strap for freestyle. All you're doing is kicking a ball up and down. Well, it wasn't used. Hopefully not. I didn't open the package.
You was hoping to open your package or something, innit?
Anyway, right, about like 2 or 3 years later. So I'd have got to about 16, 17, and then as like all the newer freestylers were coming through, so like all the younger ones, if we done meetups, they would bring like their mum and dads, and then we would maybe meet their mum and dads because they were basically going to meet people that they'd met off the internet. So like we ended up being like, not their heroes or whatever, but people they look up to that have been doing it for years and like done competitions and stuff. So we'd meet their parents, whatever, and go, their finest day was for like 2 hours, and they'd give us their number and stuff. So I ended up getting quite like paranoid about him talking to them, because he would just message all of them. So he would try join the groups, then message all the younger ones. And at this point, like I had a few arguments with other guys that were going, he's not a pedo, you can't say that because nothing's been proved on. And I was like,
he sent a keyring condom.
Like, he sent me a jockstrap. That's fucking suck. And he used to ask me, like, if I was going to London for a competition, he'd be like, I can come meet you in Manchester and take you down. And I'd be like, or I could just go to London by myself, not with a 40-year-old fucking paedophile, mate.
I don't want to stop off at Manchester.
Exactly. Don't want to get sucked off in Manchester.
Maybe London, but
see how I'm feeling. And so I messaged him, like, threatening him, basically, because I got to, like, 18, and I was like, obviously,
I'm legal now.
I was like, I think I said, I'll punch your cunt in or something.
Quality.
If you like keep messaging like whoever they were, and he like sent me this essay about how he couldn't believe that I accused him and all of that. And then 2 years later, somebody sent me an article about him touching kids at a football team because he moved away. So that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get into the freestyle community and touch people up, and I'm pretty sure he probably did. There were probably is. I'm making jokes about it.
Freestyle?
What?
Did you think you done it freestyle? Like the touching? Just mixed it up.
Just a wee tricky. How you around the world, around the cup.
Oh, that's shocking. That I'd never say that.
Anyway, so he moved away from Freestylers, then went to like a under 15s football team, and he was there were stories he would tell them that he could get them sponsored, which was the exact same stuff he used to do with us. So he'd be like, I can get you, like he would say I'm like a scout, which he wasn't. He would say that he can get them sponsorships with like brands, which is what he had done was, and then he would take them out for dinner, which is what he used to offer us to do. And then there was like 4 accounts of like touching kids.
At least he took you for dinner before he tried to fuck you. It's quite romantic.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking nuts though, isn't it? I was physically
mental,
sick when that happened. Because I've met him as well.
Aye.
I've met him. Because he turned up at like 2 events. But this is when people didn't really know that he was, well, you didn't know. But so everyone would just be like, who is this freak?
But like, did the parents know this? Were they suspicious of?
Well, like my mum knew about him. Like my mum and dad wouldn't have let me do anything with him, but she was also I was also like, I'm still gonna, like, if he offers to buy me something and not come to my house, I'm gonna take it.
That's fucked up, man, isn't it?
It's not sent up.
So when did you realise when they basically sent the fucking Johnny?
I knew before then.
Well before.
Yeah, but that really sealed the deal.
I bet it would have. Fucking hell, man.
Not sent up.
So he never fucked you?
No.
Oh, I'm okay.
Maybe next time.
That's so bad. So that you always hear that in just like the youth academies, don't you? Mainly at Celtic, but no, but you do, don't you?
Yeah, no, you hear it all the time. Especially like the Celtic youth teams.
Aye.
And they were quite popular back in the day because there used to be...
You said the sexiest kids.
Mm-hmm. What, Catholics?
Aye, well, of course, mate.
But yeah, because I'm sure Celtic used to have teams that weren't like the new you get pro youth teams. They would also have Celtic teams that were just people that were shite, but it was still, you were playing for Celtic.
It's like an amateur thing.
Yeah.
It would just kind of...
They would have them. And I think a lot of people would go to those teams in the hope that they would get into the actual team, so they would end up... So the people that are managing those teams would be... like have a lot of power, because there's a lot of kids there that think they've got a chance to play for the actual like pro youth teams. Like they see that as a way to stepping stone. But they were shite. I'm sure we used to beat them, like the amateur one, because it would be people that are just big Celtic fans and shite at football. So, but fucked.
I'm glad you didn't get non-stop, mate.
This really is therapy, isn't it?
I think so. Fucking
nothing bad happened to me though, to be fair.
I
did feel physically out reading article because what I felt like when I seen that was I should have told the police. But I feel like the police wouldn't have done anything. But I do feel like that, because if he tried that on with all of us, I feel like there's maybe like 2 or 3 freestylers that maybe that were younger and haven't came out and said anything. Because there's quite a lot of us. Say there was like 200 of us in the UK. A lot of them were young.
Yeah.
Like you don't start freestyle at 48.
Challenge accepted. No, but you do find that with like victims. This is how people are so fucking stupid, because they go, but why did they come out 5 or 10 years later? And it's
because they're embarrassed by being fucked by a fucking man.
But it took them 5 to 10 years to process that this literally happened to them. Because I know, like, for years I buried a lot of shit, not about getting fucked off a paedophile, for God's sake. I enjoyed it. I know I buried a lot of stuff in like the back of my memory, and it all came out like in my fucking 21 and all that, like for a decade from like 11 to 21. I kept it on, and then you just have a massive outburst. That's when I started taking drugs and that shit, because I couldn't cope with it all. You know what I mean? You start processing.
I never knew you took drugs.
Aye, only cocaine and that, mate, and everything else. Aye, nah, just that.
Just to be phase.
Aye, but I was so against drugs. That was the weirdest thing. And then I just went, you know what? Fuck it.
How long for?
No, mate.
Like a year?
Never bought anything to.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to buy drugs. I literally wouldn't know how to do it.
Go to any nightclub ever and somebody will just offer you. Am I right,
toilets. Paul? No, but I don't know how to buy, as in, no, I'm not that stupid. I know if you got any gear on you, mate, but I mean as in to source it, to text someone.
Nah,
I wouldn't have a clue.
That, mate. Don't want caught.
Wouldn't have a clue. Also, what I wanted to ask, did you read that article I sent you?
What one?
The calorie counting one.
Oh, that's insane.
How do you, right, so basically BBC, and this has been talked about for ages, like months, because I'm sure I've talked about it before, but they've not, they were just like, it's in the making. So the BBC have made an article saying that restaurants are going to bring calories on menus but only big chains. And I want to ask you about it just because it's very hard for me not to be biased about it, because I've actually thought about it now. And like before, see when you're like, but calorie counting for most people will really, really help them. But when you look at it from the other side of the coin, let people go out for food not to think about calories, I really can't decide what I think about it at all. Like I haven't got an opinion at all yet. I need way more time to think about it.
Well, when I was reading it, there was two things. Me personally, right, I would go to the restaurant. I wouldn't look at calories. I wouldn't give a fuck. Because I'm going to a restaurant, I'm going to enjoy myself, right? But I used to get with a lassie who was actually anorexic.
Right.
And I know for a fact, if she went to a restaurant and seen calories, it would fuck her head clean up.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like she would probably order the minuscule thing and then go throw up or something like that and look at herself like a piece of shit. Because she would look at what she'd previously had and seen the calorie amount and go, I can't believe I ate all that.
Yeah.
And that's how, like, sometimes when I do talk to people and they go, oh, what I was waiting to that, and I'm like, calorie counting, but then sometimes I go, it can fuck your head. It can cause such a fucking eating disorder.
It needs to be, I think if you're going to count calories, you need to have education on it.
No, definitely.
Because a lot of people will go into MyFitnessPal is the worst, mate. See if you put on that you want to lose weight on MyFitnessPal, it'll ask you how fast you want to lose weight, but obviously everyone's going to pick the fastest.
Hey, next week.
Yes, I would like to be skinny by tomorrow. So it asks you if you want to lose 1, 2 or 3 pounds a week. I think it's 1 or 2 pounds. Everyone chooses 2. And then it just automatically gives you 1,200 calories. So that fucks you straight away.
Yeah.
Like people eating 1,200 calories shouldn't be a thing. Most people
should be eating it.
There's the odd person with like PCOS and stuff.
Aye, right, maybe that.
But like, that just as a personal trainer, you know that. So you can never say fucking nobody should ever do anything. But 99.9% of people shouldn't be on 1,200 calories. But that's what MyFitnessPal is given 90% of the people that put it in.
It's the same with, is it the BMI thing?
What do you mean?
Is it the BMI where they, like, if you, so for instance, I weigh...
I know, but you're an extreme case. So
like 98.5 kg, and they will say, oh, he's morally obese for his height.
But for the population, 99% of people aren't strength training, so it would make complete sense. Do you know what I mean? So I used to think that as well, because but you have a bias because you're strength training.
It doesn't put in genetics, bone structure, etc., etc.
It's pretty decent though. Like it will be pretty accurate BMI.
I could be 98.5 kilo and 5% body fat.
But it's an extreme case for the population. As something that you can measure if someone's overweight or not, BMI is pretty accurate.
You think?
Yeah. Just not if you're strength training. But most people aren't strength training. Like if there's 67 million people and whatever in the UK, most of them aren't strength training. And most people that are overweight aren't strength training.
I just think a lot of people genetically... So you're basically saying like it'd be the minority?
Yeah.
Genetically wouldn't get that. Wouldn't be good for BMI stuff?
Yeah, it's a minority. So for doctors and stuff, it is useful. Oh. But like a doctor's a fucking idiot if he looks at someone who's a bodybuilder and goes, oh, your BMI's 30. Do you know what I mean? He's a fucking moron. But most of the time it's like, you need to get your BMI down to this because you're overweight, and you can see if someone's a bodybuilder or really strong. Do you know what I mean? You can see that. So when people are getting offended, you said my BMI means nothing. It's like, you haven't done anything for 10 years.
It's a great joke, but into like slagging somebody's BMI.
I've never done that.
No, I call loads of fat people that. I just see your BMI way out of scale. Like, Jesus Christ. But then I'll be the first to go, I don't believe in BMI, but
I don't think you can, because there's loads of things that I've had. So see the calorie counting thing or on the menus, a year ago I'd have been like so pro that happening, because I'm like,
suicide.
What?
Like you have a suicide?
Fuck off. Fuck. Don't bring that joke in there again.
Okay. She's a good woman.
I've way listened up about you making jokes and stuff, or even anything, to be honest. Because there's also a PT called Jordan Syed. Do you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is? Obviously. See the guy that coached him. There's two of them. One of them is called Jordan Syed, and he made a full podcast about stopping being scared of saying stuff, because you just get people you don't want following you, which you've said before. So I've become a lot more like that as well.
I could admit.
Because it's fucking tough. Trying not to offend people.
I just contradict myself all the time, but...
Yeah, so do I. I do it all the time.
See, vast majority of the time, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Like you forgot.
Aye. See, everything we just spoke about there, I don't even believe it.
You bring up the last podcast and I don't have a clue what you're talking about. I can't remember any of them.
Yeah,
I can't remember any of our conversations at all.
No, but I do believe with that, bringing calories to the menu could fuck everybody's head.
Yeah, so on the article it said that it was like over 1 million people in the UK have eating disorders. I don't know. The thing is, I don't know how true that is. That sounds like an extreme amount. That's
Not
like
off
one.
your call.
we love that call on this podcast.
Oh fuck, I know.
Fucking Anne Stonehouse.
Mate, we actually need to just do a video of us going in Lark call. I just think that'd be funny.
Just get the Celtic tops on.
Mate, we're defo known there.
And
We
the
have
crosses.
to be, mate.
See Kaelin that you met. See
Who?
Kaelin.
You need to narrow it down, man. One with the beard.
The one with the long hair.
Oh,
We're
he's one handsome guy.
we do the Rangers game together.
Aye.
And when we were doing the Celtic Rangers game and we were doing freestyle at it, I was like, mate, we're calling you Calvin for today. And he had this cross out and I was like, mate, get that.
Are you mental?
I was like, get that to fuck.
Does he want lynched?
Exactly. And he was like, can't be that bad. I was like, get it off. He wore a Scotland game at the first Rangers game. With Scotland top to the first Rangers game we done, and like 3 people were like, that should be a Rangers top or at least. I was like, mate, just don't even bother getting into any of it. It's not worth it.
Can't believe you wore a fucking
And then
cross.
we bring kids up. Listen. We bring kids up to teach them a football trick lesson and give them a jockstrap lesson.
And a condom key ring.
And we teach them a trick, but we have to ask their name and then we'll tell them our name. And I'm just like, Gavin, Calvin, Gavin. I'm like, there's no way.
Calvin, that's it.
We're just not getting into it. No chance, especially not the Celtic Rangers game.
No chance,
Brutal.
mate.
No chance. It's terrifying.
You
But
were chuffed, weren't you? But
yes, very chuffed. I went from Ibrox straight to the pub.
did you? Quality, man.
Yes, so good. Like Tam
I enjoyed
Rogic.
it too, man.
Did you?
I was in the gym. I didn't watch it.
Do you care at all? No.
Nah, mate. I just love
Because I
humour.
always just assumed you're a Rangers fan because you were from Airdrie, but you said that's why you hate Rangers.
How dare you assume my football team? I'm very offended. Nah, I just don't care, mate. I had like the Boy Celtic Fan TV on, and then I had Sharp Div, both like the biggest.
I don't know who these people are.
Well, biggest Celtic fan channel and biggest Rangers fan channel.
The 2 biggest virgins.
Basically 2 biggest versions ever, and I had them both on. And just to basically, because I had the Celtic Fan TV boy on first, and everybody's like, oh, there's a good Fenian boy talking about me. And I'm actually like, nah, I just got the biggest Rangers channel on, and I went, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just don't care. I just thought it was interesting.
I will do anything for money. That's why
anything.
That's why I'm at Ibrox.
Teaching kids. Now, what is your final thought then on that with the calorie thing? Because you're talking about you can't really make up your mind. Why can't you make up your mind with it?
Because see, when I go to a restaurant, I track my food like pretty much 99% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But see, when I go to a restaurant, I'll just like track my food before I go, and then when I go, I'll just be like, I'll have whatever. I just won't have 3 courses or something. But I don't put it in my fitness pal, and I'm just like, that's what I'm having,
Right.
and I don't really give a fuck. But I don't think a lot of people are like that. So I don't need the calories on menus because it just doesn't really affect me that much. I know what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean?
I kind of guesstimate.
Yeah. And I don't even, if I'm 300 calories out, I just don't give a fuck because it's really not a big difference. But I think a lot of people might get obsessed with it. But I'm wondering if there's an option where you could have a calorie menu and a non-calorie menu.
Oh, man. I just think that's fucking overcomplicating. And how would it? This is what the restaurants
they're saying that it's going to be compulsory, so it's going to be they're going to give it to you, and you've no choice. Do you know what I mean? So you've no choice but to see the calories on.
Also, the restaurant can't accurately do it as well. It's also a guesstimate.
Yeah.
Do you think the chef is going to be sitting
No, he's not.
it? No.
And hopefully they don't bring like proper legalization into that they're making sure that
It'll
they have
ruin
to.
the restaurant industry if that
Because I've worked in hospitality and that would be a nightmare.
You already
having people ask you about gluten and stuff, and you never really know what's on your menu. No. Like you've not tasted all of it. They don't give you it for free, so you're never gonna buy 10 quid in the restaurant and you've just worked an hour to pay for them. Do you know what I mean? You just don't eat what's on the menu unless you get given it for free or you steal it off people. I used to bring like food out to people, and then if I would watch them eat it if I was starving, and if they just picked at it and started drinking, I'd be like, are you finished with that? Just walk out the back and start eating it. So I did try things occasionally.
Good,
genuinely did just do that. Where the fuck was I going with that? Catch me on?
I'll catch you up, bro. So you were basically saying they're going to have 2 separate menus, one without calories and one with the calories.
Right, so if you're if you're working in the restaurant, see having people asking you about the calories on it, that would be far too far. That would make life even worse. And it is hard. Hospitality is well hard. Like, it's so hard dealing with people drinking, dealing with people being cunts.
Hectic in the kitchen as well when it's busy.
Yeah, and like nothing's more stressful than someone going, I'm gluten intolerant or something, and you not knowing what's in certain things, or if it's been cooked in certain things, or someone saying I have a nut allergy, and you just let them going, are you sure? See if they just say something that's like, are you sure that's not got nuts in it? And it's like mac and cheese. You're just you're just like, does mac and cheese have peanuts?
No, it doesn't. Mate.
Yeah, no, but see when someone's like I'm gonna die if it does, you're like, cheese has got some almonds, hasn't it? Do you know what I mean? You just don't know. You just get really stressed though.
I just tell them every single thing.
Because all chefs are cunts.
Aye, mate.
They're the worst. So see if you piss them off. You're just worried about pissing them off, and they've got a big knife, mate. And that's the way the hospitality industry works. You're just scared of pissing off the chef with the big knives all the time. So I think calories will send chefs over the edge.
Aye. I do think it'll be low-key kind of the death of restaurants if they literally make every single like ounce be measured out.
I don't think they will. I don't think they can do that. So I'm actually thinking I'm going to be against it.
Yeah.
Overall, I think there's good aspects to it, but I think overall I'm going to be...
The bad outweighs the good.
Yeah. Whereas before I thought the good would outweigh the bad, but now I think the bad will outweigh the good.
Yeah. If they're already saying 1 million people are fucked in the head from that.
I don't know how true that is, and I just don't believe a lot of the stuff the BBC say. After COVID, I can't trust them.
Well, to be fair, I think what is it they do? Like they type of research things, Paul. It's like they do like kind of, it's like a kind of round number. It's not an exact fucking number. It's kind of like a guesstimate of numbers or some shit.
From like many studies.
Aye, from many studies and that. I don't know the exact fucking science of it. Paul will probably tell me I'm absolute idiot and talk utter shit. But I think that's how they do like kind of research into it. Aye.
There's policies involved where they can make errors and samples for
aye, wee bits, aye. Plus, you need to remember, no, these people are only human, so they're just basically saying, roughly from all these examples, it's roughly 1 million who are suffering from it. It could be more, could be less. Odds are, it's probably more, mate. It probably is.
Yeah. Eating disorders can go under the radar quite a lot, and they are very, very serious.
You know that, especially from the fitness industry. Probably 98% have eating disorders.
People that are in the fitness industry, there's a lot. I don't think like coaches and stuff. I think the people that are really lean all the time do.
Oh no, mate, they have to.
Yeah, if you're lean all year round, there's a good chance you are. And people are like, no, I just want to look good. It's like, yeah, but being lean isn't good. And then like being lean for longer than a month just isn't good. It's not healthy at all.
Bastard,
what?
I'm no longer going to be lean now.
You're 98 kilos, mate. I think you've got a while to go.
Mate, I will be 78 in about 12 weeks.
What if you go in the sauna?
Mate, I will be. I'm doing everything to get it.
What is this so you can fight?
No, mate.
Well,
to be fair, I might actually.
But there would be no point. You getting to 78 kilos of like losing water weight. What would be the point?
Just for a laugh.
For a laugh? That sounds well funny, yeah.
I'd be laughing.
There's no point.
Not good to just challenge yourself sometimes.
70, not really in those realms, I don't think. To get lean, I don't think there's any
absolute
good.
Dick skin peeled.
I don't see I've done it and I thought it was horrible. I thought the full experience was horrific, and I looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, I don't care about any of this.
Well, I need to lose a certain amount of weight for the documentary that we're planning on doing anyway.
You're planning on doing a documentary?
Aye. So
what's this?
Obviously, I train in a MMA gym with professional fighters and loads of fighters who like lose so much weight. So I wanted to actually do a documentary where I do an MMA weight cut and experience that.
That's why you're doing it. That's different. I thought you were doing it for a laugh.
No, but I'm not doing that now. Like, all I'm doing is I'm not actually going to get to 78 kilo, right? I'm probably going to lose 10 kilo, and then we'll see how I look, like, physically and, like, condition-wise to see how much more I can go down for that documentary. So I'll maybe pick lightweight or welterweight between the two. That's where I'll choose how much I'm going to cut in the 6-week period for this documentary.
As someone who doesn't fight, I don't think fighters should cut that much weight.
I always have this debate, but they do.
What do you mean? You think they should?
So, no, well, I always have this argument with Ross, right? So, see, being a fighter, now we're talking about eating disorders, they all have them. Yeah. Right? They just do. Like, Ross has told me stories about losing 30 pounds in like a week.
Horrendous. That's why that Paddy the Baddie gets really fat after,
I
isn't
went
it?
from 155 all the way to 195.
That's how much. How much is he? Because see the videos, I can't tell with him because he's literally plastered all over my TikTok.
Yeah.
I can't tell if it's old videos or new videos.
Well, he's fat as fuck now.
Is he?
But
And he only fought 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, he was shredded out his mind.
So he's fat already.
But you need to remember.
Does he do half of that for show though?
No, mate, he can't stop.
Right, okay. So he just binges, like
Aye,
completely binges.
But the thing is, you're only 155 for 2 minutes, maybe a minute. You're
Yeah.
not. Because people always think this, oh, mate, they must walk about 155
Nah, I knew
for a
that. I
week.
knew this.
It's like, no, mate, they're probably going to... Mate, there's a guy, let's say with Ross, like, he's been in, like, he fights at light heavyweight. He's too small to be a heavyweight. He just is.
Yeah.
Right? So he cuts 30 pounds, and he's told me before he's cut like 30 pounds in like a week.
That's horrible.
Right? But then it's instantly put back on.
Well, 10, 15 of it's put back on straight away, isn't it?
No, the whole...
Is it?
Aye. Like, mate, he goes to buffets and all that. Like, the second he weighs in, away to the buffet.
But so you're still for it?
Aye.
Because if he does that, he still technically is that weight when he goes into the gym. So what's the fucking point of him doing that? Because then it's like it's not actually the real.
But did they make 205? Like nobody weighs that on the night.
Yeah, exactly.
It's impossible.
Exactly though. So he made weight the day before, but the day on he fights at a different weight.
Mm-hmm.
So surely there's a mismatch somewhere
No, because both of them are weighing the exact same. They both of them will weigh similar.
on the day.
Yep. So
Not always though. If someone has to cut and someone's already around that weight, no, or do they always kind of cut down from a bigger size?
aye.
See, I'm talking about this as someone that doesn't know anywhere near as much as you.
So you're looking at, let's look at Israel Adesanya, right? So he fights at middleweight. That's 185 pounds, and he maybe cuts about. He's one of these guys who cuts fuck all weight to make that, right? But then so he maybe sat at like 195, right? Probably 200, right? Only cuts 15 during that 8-week camp. That's fuck all, mate. Fuck all to cut. But he's so dominant at 185, right? But these guys at 185 are probably cutting for 220 and they're too small to go at light heavyweight. Right? But then he tried to fight at light heavyweight. He fought Jan, a guy who probably weighs 235 and cuts the 30 pounds. And he's too small to be a heavyweight. So there's no in-betweens. That's how they're talking about.
What scares me is because the amount of water and stuff you lose, the amount of salt and stuff you lose to get to that weight, then to go into something where you can literally die the next day. That scares me.
Aye. But it's a scary sport regardless, so you can do
I
it
know,
any-
but
any
like
point.
making it way worse. Do you know what I mean?
That's how a lot of guys do
It's
end up.
really dangerous.
That's how they get knocked out quicker because the water's not, like you're not, nothing's replenished. You can't replenish that quickly.
No, definitely
But that's
not.
something, she talked to Adam from Enhanced Sport Performance. He does all the strength and conditioning for Paul Craig. And he does all
Paul
this.
Craig's the guy with the beard that's you had on the other week.
He's ranked 7th in the world.
Is he?
So you're seeing that. He does all
Is he from Glasgow, is he?
Paul?
Uh,
No, he's from Airdrie, so just around about 5 minutes
Right,
from me. He trains in the gym and that. But Adam talks about like, see, Paul's another one. So he doesn't cut much weight for light heavyweight. But
Right.
I know for a fact that other guys that are in his division will cut 40 pounds. It's just part of the sport, mate. I don't care about like Joe Rogan that says one championship, do it different. So that's like a different organisation. You can go around at your natural weight there and you fight people at your natural who are similar to the natural weight. So there's not much weight cutting, but it still gets rigged. There'll still be outliners like guys who, so say you're going to fight at 155 and there's guys there who that's kind of their walkabout weight. They'll fight there, but you know for a fact there's some other guy who probably weighs 185 pounds who's still cutting the 30 pounds but claims to do this and they do all these mad tests, but you can rig them all.
yeah.
And it's just part of the sport. It just is. And it'll never change. See, as long as you make that weight, nobody cares. That's it. How you do it, what happens, doesn't matter. As long as you make the weight.
Has anyone ever like went in the hospital with that track cut weight?
Aye, mate.
Yeah.
Like Khabib done
Loads. Did he?
it. Aye.
Well, he went in the hospital?
Well, actually, I had to go to hospital because he was trying to cut too much weight within a short period of time, but it kind of gets covered up a bit. And he literally did.
Because they don't want it to come out.
Aye, that's how Tony Ferguson always says Mr. Tiramisu, because he was eating cake and all that on fight week, and he's already too big for that division for light heavyweight. No, just lightweight.
I'm going to get off weight cutting because I don't have a fucking clue what I'm talking about when it comes to that.
Weight.
I don't have a clue what I'm talking when it comes to weight cutting.
I'm the same, mate.
When are you going to quit your job?
Never.
Never? You're always going to do that job?
No, I'm a fuck. I don't know, mate. It depends when I can financially be stable with. I just still don't make anything.
Yeah.
So
That is your plan to build it up on the side then?
aye, well, mate, I work harder on this than I do my actual job.
Do you work harder on the podcast or try to get stand up?
Both, mate. I need to, shut up, Paul. I need to do stand up.
What does Paul give you slack for that?
No, he's actually very supportive, isn't you, mate? He just actually constantly keeps saying, go do stand up, go do stand up.
I've said that to you as well, though, haven't I? I've said it a few times, like, go fucking do it.
Aye.
Like, I think you do need to do it more, don't you?
No, I know that. That's what we were talking about. I did like a kind of solo podcast.
I watched a
talking
bit
about
of it.
limitations and that. Just felt as though that's what I was talking about with the contradiction thing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't really...
See, when I was watching that, we do the same as in personal trainers. Like, you slag other people and you're like, that's because they're making more money than me.
Aye. Or
That's
you're not,
why I'm slagging them.
or you're not doing the actual thing. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm not actually doing stand up, but I'm critiquing it
Yeah.
too much to like where it's like I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So I'm hopefully doing one right then tomorrow. So just trying to get as much in and get the reps up. But see how it goes, mate. I'm looking really forward to going back to it and proper just learn. Like, see, when I was watching the stand when we were there, I was like, I would fucking kill that room.
Yeah. Do you enjoy watching stand up or do you feel like you have to like critique it? Like, can you, because I was sitting watching you when we were watching it and just going, wonder if he's actually looking to laugh at this or he's looking to try figure out the joke before it happens, or...
I don't know, I try to like enjoy it, but see, because I love it so much, I end up analysing how bits get pieced together.
Yeah.
That's how I told you about that guy. There's something that a lot of professionals, not saying he's a professional, right, but I see it in with a lot of professionals, whereas they'll tell you...
That one we went to is the worst night I've been to, by the way. I won't say when we went or in, but I've been 3 times. That was the worst one.
I enjoyed one guy, I thought he was brilliant. But the way, so what they do is they tell you a wee bit, they tease you it, and then see during the entire set, you're constantly thinking, oh wait, he didn't say anything else about this bit, or why is it, what's going on with that bit? And then the ending finishing joke is what was originally started. And I've been trying to work on something like that, and it's just so, it's hard to do because it's so clever.
You were laughing at me because I found one guy funny, but it was just, you called it associative comedy because but I never actually told you what happened, did I? Because he made, I can't remember what his joke was, but there was one time this guy came out in Uddingston where I live and he looked really stressed, and he came out his house and I could see him, like he couldn't get in the door, and then I was at the bus stop. He came up to me and he was like, mate, can I use your phone? I need to text my mum.
Oh.
He was like, I need to text my mum. And I was like, yeah, sure. I gave him my phone. And then he's like stressed as fuck. And he gives me it back. And I look at my phone and he's text my mum. Saying, I'm locked out, where are you? And I just looked at him like, is that you, mate? See you later.
Fucking drunk must have been to do that.
Oh, I was fucking pissing myself. Because I actually didn't want to embarrass him that because the guy was fucking flustered. And I was just looking, I'm like, see you later, right? Have a good one.
Your mum's like, what the fuck?
That's why I was laughing so much. Yeah, I had to text my mum and go, sorry about that, some random guy.
But that's why Kevin Bridges is so good.
Yeah,
It's
because
associative comedy.
with
Everybody in
empties and
Scotland,
stuff.
everybody in Scotland goes, oh aye, that happened to me, or I know this. That's why he's so successful.
Yeah.
He's obviously brilliant. He just is.
Oh, he's class. No one can say he's not good.
No.
And he does bang over like bit. And it's so funny, see when you see his like stand-up dates, it's just like Belfast, Aberdeen, Edinburgh, Glasgow. Hydro. Like 12 days in a row. And he's been doing that for it. Like whenever he does a tour, he's always in Glasgow for like 2 weeks. Solid. And he always sells out.
I don't get it.
Here
No,
we
I get
go.
why he sells
Here
out,
we
right?
go.
But I don't understand how he continues to do it now, because like you don't actually see him everywhere.
He's so big now. He doesn't need to do any work anymore. He actually doesn't need to do it. He can just go, here, I'm going to be...
Do you think he's like just in our Billy Connolly?
Yeah,
Do you know
no,
what I mean?
he doesn't need to do any work anymore. He's that big. He's been around that long. Everyone will always know who he is.
It's insane, isn't it?
It's literally, he's like that. He's that famous.
Aye.
Like, I wouldn't throw a random number out there, but he's one of the most famous people in the UK. Like even English people really know who he is.
But I always thought with him, like,
because like Michael McIntyre and that, they don't need to do it anymore. I don't think Michael McIntyre's that funny. He's like 12
if
years old.
anything needs to do more. Jesus.
But you know what I mean? He could go away for 5 years and just be like, I'm back.
Aye. Well, Lee Evans, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, he could unretire for stand up and out, and I would instantly go buy a ticket.
Yeah.
Do you like Lee Evans?
I've not watched him that much.
No.
So when I was growing up, who would be like the most famous, like Michael McIntyre, him, Peter Kay, and all that sort of, like I never really got into stand up that much then. I liked Frankie Boyle when I was growing up. Frankie
So
Boy.
you like rape jokes?
That's your fucking hero. But I watched Frankie Boyle, Kevin Bridges, and then Mickey Flanagan. He was shite when I went to see him. He was terrible.
He was shite.
He was terrible.
Because he's got like
Live, he was awful, mate.
he's got like one special, and it's like in my top 10.
Is it? See, I seen him
The
live.
Out, it's the Out special, isn't it?
I think I seen him after that, so maybe in different. I think he had different material from because
Aye.
that was the out joke made him well famous, didn't it?
Mate, that is amazing.
That's why I went.
See the bit
The
where he's
out
talking-
jokes. Why me and my dad bought tickets.
Yeah.
That's why we went to see him. But I think he had different stuff, and it wasn't that good. But
Because he has died off like
yeah,
drastically. The bit where he's talking about like peeping at the neighbour and all that.
Yeah, I
I'm like,
remember.
mate, that's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
yeah, no, that was really funny. But I think he had different stuff. Maybe that's why he's died down because he's had
Sometimes it
the
just
one
doesn't-
special.
It just doesn't hit.
Yeah.
You can't.
And I'd maybe been to see like 5 other comedians at that point because I went to see all the big ones, not any smaller ones like the people that stand there. And so I never went.
All right. People at the stand are small, are they?
You know what I mean? I went to see the really famous ones when I was younger, and I liked everyone. I even went to see Jack Whitehall, who I wouldn't find funny.
Fuck.
I wouldn't find him funny now, but when I was 16 or whatever, I did. And then
Bad Education is arguably one of the best BBC.
Bad
sitcoms
Education was
ever.
Fresh Meat was funny as
Fresh
fuck
was
as well.
amazing, mate.
And he was class, but Mickey Flanagan was quite shite.
It's really disappointing, isn't it? Well, I know one thing that I did learn about the stand is they don't need MD.
All right,
The
as in
venue
the
sells out,
venues
not
because the
the
venue's
people.
class.
Not the people, the venue sells out.
The venue is really
So I'm
good.
just an arsehole.
Yeah.
That's what I actually realised in that last one. I just went, I think I'm the arsehole.
Well, I've went 3 times.
And it's all been sold out.
Yeah. And I've brought people, like every time I go, I've bring other people because I think it's class. Like
I
it's
could
really,
sell
really
at the
good.
stand.
You don't need to though, do you?
I'm
You just,
going to.
Aye.
My ambition now.
That's what you were saying when you were watching it. You just kept on going to do, I'm going to do that day, that day, that day.
Mate, I could, but I don't know, man. See, when I was in that room, I just felt, do you know that feeling?
You got hyped up for a wee bit, didn't you?
Aye, no, mate, 100%. Aye. But see if you actually go see me watch any form of stand up, mate, I'm like, that's what I was saying to him. I'm like a wee boy around the end. Like, I'm just so excited. See, he goes and does like Gary Fawlds, like just records him, and I says, mate, I would literally just sit with the guy who does the lighting and learn everything about it.
Yeah.
Because I'd want to learn every aspect of stand up comedy. I don't even care if it's the physical doing the comedy. Every single thing around it, I want to learn.
What's your dream like stand up? Like what?
Sell out the Hydro, mate.
That's your dream.
Aye. Like I've walked by the Hydro and just stood for about 10 minutes crying, just thinking about it.
Really?
Aye, mate. Like I actually do love stand up more than anything. Mate. It's fucking.
The Hydro is such a good venue as
Aye,
well.
it's iconic. Like I have that. I hate that fucking Gregor when he talks about. I had him on and he was talking about doing the stupid visualization shit and all that. Do you know what I mean? Like the secret or that part, right? But I do tell him like I like see sometimes when I get in my own head and I'm like I just picture myself like it's not sold out yet. I'm just in before I'm going to do a sold out show and you're just looking around at all the seats and all that. Like how surreal would that feel knowing you've sold that out?
And Kevin Bridges does it 14 days in a row.
Aye.
Yeah.
Do you think the feeling of selling that out would go away?
Yeah. I don't think he gives a fuck, to be honest. I reckon he still enjoys it, but I don't think he doesn't give a fuck about how much money he's making and all that. I don't think anymore.
No.
No, he probably just does it to show face every now and then. But no,
I don't think I would ever get tired of just performing.
You say that now, but if you done it constantly, you probably would.
Come back to me 20 years down the line.
You're like, fuck.
No, I'd be the exact same, honestly.
Jank.
Aye.
I think it'd go well tiring. Touring would get well tiring. Sitting on a bus and all that.
But
That would be fucking
not
horrible.
if you take your boys with you. Do you know what I mean?
Who's going to want to go with you around the UK?
Who wouldn't?
Round the UK?
I
Fuck
mean,
that.
around the UK, like think about it when you get your supporting act, right?
Aye, that sounds good until you're in Blackpool, mate. Fuck's sake.
I'm never performing there.
That'll be one of the places. It's got so many venues.
No, I'll go
And
there.
it'll be full of working class.
A bit of quality.
Probably would. Blackpool probably would.
Aye, I bet there'd be some.
Half of Glasgow would be there.
Do you know
It's a mini hydro. The warm
He
up.
told me a story and mate, he paid all this money to travel down to Blackpool. This was like back in the day, so it was like well more expensive to go to Blackpool. And he's like, ah, man, had this fucking basically been told the whole time, mate, it's sold out, fucking sold out, we're gone. And he'd went, mate, and he just turned it and literally nobody's there. And he's paid so much money and all that thinking he's going to do this sold out fucking show.
So he never got any money to go down there. He paid out his way to get there.
Paid out his way to get there to go perform.
Do you know why why I want you to do more stand up is because I want to hear your stories like that, because you've got a lot of like fucking terrible venues and all that to do.
Can't wait.
Do you know what I mean? Like you've got all of this shit to do, and I reckon it'll be hilarious. Like, because how you deal with it's going to be like what makes you, because you're going to be should do the Fringe.
Nah,
Nah.
not going to limit myself. I'll say yes, right? I would do the Fringe, but too many comedians put pressure on myself with the Fringe and make it out as though it's the be end and end all. And it's just
I
not.
would see the Fringe as fucking practice.
Aye, but I could laugh to go do it. But I'm
Yeah.
trying to be like,
It's all like having a
I
day at
wouldn't
it.
pay £10,000 for a venue
Oh no way!
to do like a week at the Fringe. Like I would get paid £10,000.
Can you not? You can do spots though, can't you?
No, I know, but I'm saying like people go there.
Oh, I
And
wouldn't do that.
they pay all this money
Nah,
to. It's like because you get the opportunity with like papers and like scouts, all that shit.
bollocks.
Aye.
A load of bollocks.
Look at, I keep bumming them, don't I? But like Shane Todd and that, like they're not fucking sitting going, oh man, I need to go perform at the.
But their stories of going to the Fringe are hilarious. They used to do it.
Aye.
And like Shane Todd told a story about him going to the Fringe and doing a show for 3 people. One of them was his dad.
It'd be weird if my dad was there.
Definitely. You'd bring him.
Who's got the Ouija board? Fuck.
No, you should. I reckon you should. I'll come. I'll be the only person.
I was actually signed up for the Fringe in the Glasgow Comedy Festival. Like,
You said you were going to do
pre-lockdown and all
Glasgow Comedy Festival.
aye. I think, see, back these 2 gigs out, start inquiring everywhere basically. Just get all the reps in, and then just start enjoying it and stop being so critical.
Yeah,
I think that's my issue, mate.
I think that's what you need to do. I think you need to like grin and bear the fact that they're gonna be ones that you don't want to do as well, and just do them.
Aye.
Because
Just do it for
you
the love of
can't.
the game.
Yeah, you can't be picky
No.
at the start. Be picky when you've got loads of options, but just fucking do whatever.
Be picky when you've got the right,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah,
Aye.
because I think see when anyone's ever starting something, they can always be like I should be charging more. I should be. You end up getting a wee bit of an ego too quick, don't you?
Aye. Defo ego was in the way.
Yeah.
Defo. That's
Have you, Jen, you've noticed that the last like 2 weeks?
Aye.
Is that why you made that podcast?
Aye, just because I'm like, even with like the channel, like it's like putting all this pressure on. Like obviously I do have guests and that booked up, right? But I've not solidified dates yet, but I will. Get off my back. Just see that whole thing of like put pressure on. You need to be a podcast. You need to get guests. Like I'm like, nah man, my head's like I'm too creative to just single-handedly be a podcast channel.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, obviously I love doing podcasts and that, but I'm like, say I want to fuck up a video of Ross and I going training or whatever, I'll fucking do it. Like nobody, it's fucking my channel.
Yeah.
And nobody's telling me what to put up. I'll put up what I want
Why do you still have 2 different ones?
because I love fighting.
No, not the podcast. I mean, you put stuff up on your page and then you put it up on the Followers one as well. I thought that's what you'd remember.
Nah, well, I don't have the same,
Fuck everything up that you find funny.
but I don't have the same fan base on mine and on the podcast as well.
So mostly on the
It is
podcast.
different. It is a different fan base, honestly.
Is it?
Aye.
In what way?
People come to mine for more comedy, genuinely, and people go to the podcast one for like the fight stuff and wee clips of the pod. So I tend to put up the more funny ones, like on my page, because it gets more interaction through that. See if I fire up, I fired up ones like me and Ross talking about fighting, and it didn't get as much.
Yeah.
Then I fired it up on the Fires podcast one, and
It's really hard to fucking tell into it, right? Because see, any of the clip, so none of the clips I've put up of my own podcast have done well, apart from one it was about a PT that's a fucking wanker. So that done really well. But like
that guy's a weapon, by the way.
Oh,
I
he is
watch
a
some of his
weapon.
stuff.
Oh, he's a weapon. But anyway, then any clips out, like I gave Michael a few of the clips to post and they all done well on his channel, but they done shit on mine. But the clips that he posted were of him, to be fair. But it was also talking about like the Fenian stuff, which also bangs
Dirty Fenian
which also
bastard.
bangs way more in Northern Ireland than it would here. Like we don't give as much of a fuck as they do.
And the app's geographical, isn't it?
Yeah, no,
So,
so his audience will be way more Belfast
mate.
than me. So it's really hard to fucking tell what to post because I want to have stuff that, because this podcast I don't want it to be about fucking same stuff that I talk about, and I don't want it to be about weight loss. Like fuck that, I will have a laugh, and I actually see this more as just not even just having a laugh, but I want to come here and enjoy the conversation.
Aye, mate.
Do you know what I mean? I'm actually not bothered about being the next big fucking podcaster. I just want to come have a laugh, and I've already met people for it, like you and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I'm lucky.
I know. My life is horrendous. But that's the way I see it. I want to meet people for it.
Do you feel as though I'm going to fuck you one day? Not in the ass or anything like that. I just mean like, I just mean like, Jink, I'll say something so crazy that your fan base will just plummet.
I think just every time I upload a video, I'll lose like a few hundred followers. Yes.
Just of me?
What? Yeah, just to say about that fucking ginger prick again.
My TikTok's just, it's been weird lately. I feel as though there's something going on with that app.
Nah, you always see what happens.
But how come I've went like 2 million in 3 months, like views,
this always happens
with like 5.3k followers, and then everything's just starting to go
down, and then then next month or the month after, if you just need to keep posting and try and not think about it.
Aye.
Yeah, just keep posting. I know, but
I'm a
also
numbers guy. I need numbers.
No, but it'll come in drips and drafts. It's like you just need to keep doing it. Like you need to not give a fuck and
But
just
how come
post.
cunts, like there's certain cunts that just go viral all the time?
Usually their content's quite good, and you usually hate to admit it, but usually it's quite good.
No, it's just lassies.
Well, no, because they just have their tits out. There you go. There's the answer.
So
Get your
you're
tits
saying
out.
I
Get
need
your
a boob
dick
job.
out.
I need a boob job.
Went to different
Mate,
ways
how
there.
funny that'd be. Actually come in here with just double D's.
That would get views.
Oh, mate, I'm doing it.
But you can end up going down that route, can't you? Where you want to go viral all the time, so you just say mad shit.
I'm a trans athlete. How can I not be? I've got tits.
Fair enough.
What do you think about that female swimmer, the trans, like male into the female sports?
Did she win it?
No, she did, didn't she? She won it.
There was one that went in, and I
that
can't
was
remember because there's a few different things, isn't there? There's a
powerlifter.
swimmer, the power lifter, and she lost, but the swimmer won.
Yeah,
They shouldn't be in either of them anyway. That's my opinion.
Right. It's crazy for being a woman. Like actually, see if you're a fucking woman. Can you imagine like you've built
I'm
the sport?
fucking woman.
No, I love fucking women. No, but you've built. See, you be a woman in sport. It's already so hard. You know what I mean?
You're so disadvantaged with everything because
That's what I mean.
and not just genetically, you're never going to make as much money as guys.
No, that's what I'm getting at. Like overall, it's hard to be a woman and a female in sports, and then you're getting somebody who's
They are.
They are still like,
Genetically
bone
superior.
structure, everything.
Even if they've
Aye.
altered their hormones,
Oh, definitely.
they've had years of an advantage.
Aye.
I don't even think it's an argument with people.
Can you imagine me going in and competing with a woman?
Exactly.
Like,
Especially when it comes to fighting.
aye, or like
Oh.
strength. Mate, I'm fucking her and I'm winning in weights.
But it's like, these people that are coming at it, it's like, shut up, you woke cunt. Like, fuck up.
But then
It's like
but they're not being woke. That's what's stupid about it. They're not being woke towards like being an actual woman. Like you're degrading that sport.
yeah.
You're basically saying a guy can come in, lower his testosterone a little bit, and smoke all the world
Chop
records,
his cock off and
Aye.
just get in the pool.
but ruin what women have fucking built.
Exactly.
And
Because there'll be
shite.
someone there that should have won that swimming
who's
event.
worked her entire fucking life, mate.
Exactly.
It's a literal dream.
Exactly.
And the woman, now woman, was a shit swimmer as a male,
Right.
and now she's an elite swimmer as a female. That's
So
fucking
shit,
bang
isn't
out.
it? It's so shit. I just don't see. I can't. It's one of those things where you should see the point of view from both sides, but I just see none of.
Do we have a separate category for them? Yes.
Yeah. Did I tell you what happened with my mum when I went out with Mother's Day with her? You'll find this funny. So
Oh, well,
you'll find this
well,
funny.
really?
You'll find this funny. So she goes, because there's this guy that stays across the road from her, and he's got something wrong with her. Something wrong with her. Jeez, I'm getting so confused with that. What
What's
we
your
just talked
pronouns
about.
here, bro?
He's got something wrong with him, but he hits on my mum quite a lot.
Nice.
So he like goes over for like my mum will make him something to eat or something, and he comes over, and then they'll be watching something on the telly, and he's like, "Can we watch a sexy movie?" My mum's like,
A sexy movie?
my mum's like, "Absolutely not." Anyway, she was telling me a story about this, and we'd ordered our starter, and we'd got it, started eating it or whatever, and she was telling a story about him, and she was like, "I think he's got that asparagus," and I was like, "No, Mum, that's what you have in your mouth as your starter." Right now, she had a mouthful of asparagus, what she said, like hanging out her mouth. I said, no, I think he's got Asperger's.
Asperger's. Have you seen the South Park thing of that?
No.
Asperger's. Cartman basically hears that there's this phrase. He goes in, and the nurse goes, I think you might have, obviously, Asperger's. And he goes, wait, what? Asperger's? And he goes, that's hilarious. So what he starts doing is making hamburgers and putting them in his ass and then selling them as Asperger's.
South Park can actually like hit pretty well, can't it?
Well, it can get away with anything because it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
So there's nobody there.
They've cancelled it before, haven't they?
No, mate, you can't
but
cancel South Park.
they cancelled it ages ago and then brought it back from not like cancel culture now.
Oh, right. Aye,
it's been took off and then bring back. I'm pretty sure, like in the early days.
You can't actually hold anybody.
I'm not saying like
accountable,
cancel culture now.
Cartoon, you can't go Cartman. Can't believe you said that.
Yeah,
I suppose
is that why they get away? Nah, they.
It's because it's a cartoon.
Frankie Boy got cancelled a few times, didn't he?
He's not a cartoon.
I know, but he did though, didn't he? Because he tried a bit. Was it Tramadol Nights or something? He cancelled instantly.
No wonder.
I can't remember what that was like.
That is the craziest sketch show ever.
I can't remember what was
It's
on
basically, do you want every single thing that you can't say? Here's Tramadol Nights.
Right.
It was fucking mental, man.
You just see his way of slaughtering people in the front row. The only critique I have about Frankie Boy was that he scripts what he's going to say about people.
You have to.
I know, but not.
They talk about.
Do you see if you're going to slag someone off? Right, that's a good question actually. If you're going to slag someone off in the audience, how many of your like insults are rehearsed?
Probably all of them.
All of them.
Nah, probably 80%. You go in with a rough idea of like, you go, right, somebody's going to heckle me and say they're a male, they like this, blah, blah, blah. That's what they're getting hit with.
Right.
And then obviously, if you ask them, the stereotypical hang it and stand up, what is it you do for a living? And you can just branch off of that, right? So say, for instance, I'm at PT, I maybe already have a joke. Like, so for instance, I'll say, if I go, oh, you're a PT, I'll go, I was so
PT's such an easy one, isn't it?
No, but my joke is all the time with PTs is like, I was so unaware of what a PT, like a cross trainer was. I thought a cross trainer was a transsexual personal trainer, right? So that would be my bit for you. Do you know what I mean?
Have you said that before?
Aye, mate.
So what other ones do you have?
Like what, for PTs or that?
Or just even, do you have, no, so,
like
not the what,
hecklers?
Not a what do you do one, just someone says your jokes are shite or you're shite. Do you have a rehearsed one you would say?
Aye, well, I had one.
Because
I don't know
this is generally what I wanted to know, because a lot, Frankie Boyles just look too rehearsed for me. Yeah. Like, it's like something brutal, but it's like, does that even apply to the guy you just said? Me,
I'd already heard what he'd said.
Right.
So Frankie Boyle had said to me, he says, you look like a male model of why women shouldn't leave their drinks.
Right.
And I already knew that, and I had to kind of fake the laugh.
Because you'd heard him say it before?
Aye, because I heard him on setting a special before.
It?
But one what I have for like, well, it was like my first gig, and this guy was just fucking, he just kept yapping, basically, and all the time, and I just went, oh, right, mate. And I went, is that your missus and that? And he goes, aye. And I went, bet you the only sexual pleasure she gets is when you leave the house. Yeah, and it just shut him up. And I think that's what you just, it's a shit one. I don't think it's that good.
Yeah.
It's all right, but it just kind of basically goes, all right, cool. Whatever, big man, you've done me there. That's me. But that was pre-rehearsed. I tried to go in with one. I was like, just in case, mate, just take one with you in case something.
Yeah.
Can't say something. Just conveniently, it was a guy. It'd be weird if I said that to a woman.
It wouldn't work.
Is that your buster? I mean, bet you on the sexual pleasure you get when you leave your house. Aye, pal. Do you know what I mean? It's shit.
How did your first gig go?
Amazing, mate. I felt at home.
Your first gig went well?
Aye, went phenomenal.
Do you think that's the turning point for comedians, if their first gig goes well or not?
Nah.
Don't think it matters.
I'm going to do, what was it Darren Connell said about it? Something to do with, it's quite, I loved it, man. It was in the pod. You should watch it. Straight White Male. It is brilliant. I watch it all the time. I love Darren.
Straight white whale.
Whale, so it is. I'm just a straight white male. He's a straight white whale. But he spoke about like, so you're not actually shite as a comedian. It was like, the only time you're actually shite is when you go to a comedy venue, like for instance, a stand, and you don't get laughs. So that's when you maybe need to kind of go, analyse it and go, maybe I'm not that good.
Yeah.
Because he's like, genuinely, you'll go.
As in, maybe I'm not that good and I can get better, or maybe this isn't for me.
Not for you.
Okay.
Aye. And that's what he said.
Aye. He said that if you go to a place and you
Aye.
didn't last, then you should just pack it.
And I do believe that's true. So that's how I knew I was all right, because my first gig was literally a comedy venue.
Right.
Like at Jester's, just past Paisley. That was a literal, like, you had the wee stage and there was a comedy crowd. They knew what they were coming for. It was only for stand-up. It wasn't you just arriving at a random bar with a fucking eating hot wings and you're trying to tell jokes about hot wings.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so that's how I kind of knew. And I was kind of lucky with that. And I just went, all right, I'm pretty good at this.
Was that an open mic?
Nah, I'd already been booked for it.
Right, okay. Because I think if you do like an open mic and like a shite bar that's not...
I've done them
Because freestyle was quite like that as well. If you were doing a show somewhere and the people didn't have a clue how to set up a venue, people would think it's shit, because you need music for it. If you don't have music, it's fucking horrendous. Because you do the tricks and stuff to the music. So like I could imagine doing comedy, like if you get booked for somewhere that doesn't really know what comedy is, then you would just have a shit time. Like loads of weddings and that do it, and like if the wedding's a shit crowd.
Mate, can't imagine doing stand-up at a fucking wedding.
Well, people do it though.
Why, but?
People do it all the time, and it's a lot. I can see where people that are having a wedding would think, oh, it'd be great to have a bit of
the brides are
stand-up.
dirty.
Yeah, that sort of stuff. Back,
Feel weird, man.
that would be what it'd be like. That's anyway the jokes I'd be making. But I can see why they would have a stand-up at weddings, but it would be terrible for the stand-up.
It would be terrible for the wedding.
Mate, I used to, in one of the restaurants in Melbourne, I used to
Wait, you freestyled for a wedding?
No, I was bartending at it, but it was a wedding venue, and mate, having to listen to best man speeches every day is one of the most brutal. Everyone says the same fucking thing. He's finally settled down.
Oh, thank God.
Oh, you should have seen what
Cheated on her last night.
that sort of thing.
Wait, have you heard Mark Nelson?
No.
Phenomenal, isn't he?
Is he a comedian? I don't know who he is.
I've never wanted to hit you so hard in my life.
Please don't.
Mate, he's like a legend in Scotland.
Is he? Don't know who he is.
Mate, defo top 5 in Scotland, isn't he?
Mark Nelson.
Mate, he has to do something to be like, mate, he's a kind of road comic, isn't he? Like, he is a road comic, right? But see his material, mate, he should be selling at the Hydro. He's so fucking good.
Right.
And he needs that, Paul and I were talking about it, he needs that kind of Shane Todd-esque thing, like get in the pod, get TikToks up, all that stuff, like have a word. He's been on Have a Word and all that.
Right, okay.
And he's got this amazing bit where his missus booked Michael Bublé. Like a Michael Bublé fucking
Tribute act.
tribute act for his wedding, and she went, or for his birthday or something, and he goes, I don't even fucking like Michael Bublé. He goes, I've never fucking said this in this household. And it's like, what? Oh mate, I'll send you a link, man. He is phenomenal. See, anytime he's at the stand, we need to go.
Did they tell you who's on ever?
Like, there is already people who like, but it's like when you go to the CD nights we go to, it's kind of random, isn't it?
Friday nights is random, I think. Friday night.
But people actually like, book the venue, obviously, for shows, and he's like a regular there anyway because he's phenomenal.
If anyone is listening to this from Glasgow, I think they should go to the stand on a Friday. Like if you've ever thought about going to comedy, I think it's a good.
I mean,
it's a good. If you've never went to comedy and you don't know what it's like and you don't know if you, I think you should go to the stand.
I did shit on it too much and I hadn't went enough to.
It's good. I've been 3 times now. The two other times were actually class. The last one wasn't as good.
Except for a particular woman that you've seen.
She was terrible, but we're not going into that. I don't want to name names. I'm definitely not naming names, but yeah, it wasn't great. But I've never seen that.
She was edgy.
Yeah. Lovely sake. No, it was good. What was that you were saying about the Michael Bublé concert? That reminds me, see, from like my Christmas when I was like 11, being the biggest Celtic fan, had Henrik Larsson fucking covers. My mum decided to get me a Barry Ferguson book.
Great woman.
He used to go into my auntie's coffee shop in Larkhall.
Oh, here we go.
And she managed to get it signed off Barry Ferguson, and that's what my mum and my auntie got me for my Christmas when I was 12. I didn't speak to her for like a week.
Quite right.
I phoned my dad straight away.
You were at Hun bashing that night.
I just started crying. Why the fuck would you get me
What
this?
a terrible present.
And it's Barry Ferguson as well, the most hated Rangers player at the time. It's like Scott Brown now.
Have you met Barry Ferguson before?
No. Have you?
I can't, man.
See? Never met him.
They are.
What, Rangers players?
Every single one, aye. Nah, do you know that thing? It's like you don't meet your heroes. He wasn't my hero or anything like that, but I'm saying like loads of guys from when I was playing football and that loved him. And then when I went to meet him, literally after I went, he's just a pure dick, isn't he?
It'd be very hard to deal with Rangers and Celtic fans playing for either of those teams, I think.
Yeah.
Like all the time. Like
mentally, you must be fucked, aye.
Like if going out in Glasgow and stuff. Like it must be difficult all the time.
Well, like we're talking about, can you imagine being like Michael Jordan back in the day? Like, you
That'd
can't
be
go anywhere.
horrific.
And it is like, Imagine Henrik Larsson just staying in Glasgow all the time. Like
I
we
just
did.
have a constant boner.
Oh mate, I'd be rock hard and all, man. But it would, you know what I mean? You wouldn't be able to go anywhere.
No.
Media, fans, you name it.
And it'd be well difficult dealing with people like that are, because everyone was like in love with Henrik Larsson. So it'd be well difficult.
I'm not a Celtic fan.
It'd be well difficult dealing with people liking you that much. Genuinely, it must be infuriating. You be, mate, I'm a cunt.
Oh, I must be shy getting loved, eh? Fucking hell. I feel like that, man. See, when
No, but being talked up that much because he's just
talked up that much. Telling you, I've got this bet with him, by the way, that I'll get Kevin Bridges on this podcast within a year, or I need to give him $1,000.
I've never seen him do a podcast though, has he?
That's the whole point. That's the whole point of the bet.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
That's not the bet. The bet is Kevin Bridges and Jerry Cinnamon.
Right, Jerry Cinnamon's
Never seen Jerry Cinnamon do a podcast either. I just don't see people that don't do podcasts doing podcasts.
By the way, I'm going to put it out there. Jerry Cinnamon defo has seen my TikTok clip about him.
Jank.
It's too viral for him not to. And we live in too much a niche in Scotland where he
I
would
get
have seen
tickets
it.
for him. I'm going to see him.
Unlucky.
I think he'll be class. I don't give a fuck if he's a prick.
It'd be phenomenal, mate.
What did you say?
Who, me?
You just said the story about him getting.
I saved the guy's life just through his music.
Because the guy knew him or something.
Because he produces his stuff, and he went, "Oh, don't kill him because that's
Jerry Cinnamon's producer.
And it went very viral, so I highly doubt that he's not seen it.
Yeah, he probably has. He's not really big on social media, though, is he? I don't know if he. Well, he probably uses it, but he doesn't
probably
post.
knows somebody who's seen it and went, "Oh, Jerry, did you see this?"
Yeah.
Too
Right.
famous.
I think we will wrap this one up here. Where would you plug your stand up? Would you get people, if people seen it? They probably won't.
Nah,
wait
because
until-
it'll be like the night and then the morrow.
Wait, when have you got another one coming up?
Don't know. That's what I'm going to do these two.
I'll post it. See if you're actually doing one. I'll post it on my story.
Quality.
And I'll probably come as well.
I bet you will.
On your face. Right. Cool. Thank you very much for watching. Anyone that does watch, if you can also maybe tag it in your story or something, that would
Don't
help me
bother.
out a lot.
Don't do that.
Please do. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you, Gavin.